Good evening. Departures by Liam Hogan. Two men meet in an airport departure lounge. One, travelling west, wears a white suit and a dark charcoal shirt, and even in the airport thinks he represents his company, as he has not yet loosened his thin, neutrally coloured tie. The other wears loose-fitting trousers and a pair of shoes that would be turned away at most nightclubs. He carries a canvas backpack that looks like it's been round the world a few times. It has. There is little reason for the two of them to converse, except that the lounge is otherwise empty. It is between planes. The man in the suit arrived an hour earlier than he needed to, worried about missing his flight. But now he has navigated check-in, now he has passed security, he is calm. The man with the canvas bag cuts his departure customarily fine, and, the airline having overbooked, has waived his seat in return for an upgrade on a later flight. Yet, his eyes dart around the room with the look of a man who is, well, what? Hunted or haunted? You're going to Milan, he asks the suit. The suit, no, let's call him Mr. West, and the other Mr. East. These men, like all men in airport departure lounges, have no name. West, then, looks at his interlocutor with surprise. Well, yes, how did you know? MXP, he says, pointing at the baggage sticker on the back of the other one's luggage. Malpensa, I know all the airport codes. West takes this in. He blinks, but he is polite, and a conversation has been started. And you, where are you heading? East, says East. I'm heading east. An odd comment. And West thinks that this probably concludes his obligation, but East has one more variation to add. Always east. Always east, says West. And at this, East's eyes light up and he nods fervently. Always east, he says with emphasis. West shifts uncomfortably in his chair and can't think what to say. Never west. Never, affirms East. How'd you get home? West asks. He shrugs. I don't. I've been heading west now for 17 years. West is confused. But it's my fortune, you see, says East. But no, West does not see. And the blank look he gives is answer enough. East quickly glances around the still, quiet room. A few of the passengers have wandered in, but they spread themselves to the points of the compass. When I was young, he says, a fortune teller told me to go east. Go east, she said, and you will become a millionaire. So I did. He rubs his neck. The problem is, you carry east and west around with you. Even now, you are on my east side, and I on your west. And I can chase east forever, but never catch it. I can go east until I'm back where I started and keep on going. And have. East is without end. West sits up straighter. He thinks of himself as a rational man, and he doesn't believe in fortune tellers any more than he believes in a tooth fairy or Father Christmas. How do you know it's not a false fortune, he asks. East holds his eye for a long moment, then nods firmly. I know. And this is enough for both of them, because it is obviously a matter of faith, and you don't question a man's faith. West turns instead to matters of a more practical nature. How do you afford it? He asks. He smiles. I work. I travel as far east as I can, then I stop, work until I'm sorted and certain that this employment will not lead to riches, until I have enough money to move on, and then I do. I move on. West smiles in return. You know, he says gently, the average person earns around $1 million in a lifetime, more perhaps if it's Hong Kong dollars or yen. Have you ever thought of just settling where you land? He twitches. He wrings his hands together to still their betrayal. How can I? He says, with a hint of mournful despair in his voice. Once you start, once you've invested so much, it's like waiting for a bus when you could have walked. When no bus comes, you wait longer, because surely it will come soon. The longer you wait, the sooner it must come. After a while, you can't walk it anymore. You'd be late. So you wait, and wait, and wait, getting later and later until your destiny is out of your hands. West sits in respectful silence for a moment, interrupted by a garbled tannoy announcement. It's my flight, he says, but he makes no immediate move to stand. And then he speaks again, in a rush of words, and that was only half of the fortune she told me. If it was only about just the money, he says, wild-eyed, but no, the rest, and I've not told this to many people, the rest was, and there you will find love and happiness and peace. There is little West can say. He's sceptical, of course. How could an itinerant traveller who never stays anywhere long enough to do more than scrape together an air ticket ever hope to find his fortune? What a miracle that would be. But he nods, and he says, I do hope you find what you're looking for. They shake hands warmly, and as East hefts his big bag, half a dozen business cards rain down from the front pocket. West stoops to pick them up, but East just shakes his head. They're of no use to me anymore. Just leave them be. After he is gone, West sits staring at nothing for a while before he checks his watch, and seeing he has just enough time, he hurriedly pulls out his laptop, pulls out a folder. Emblazoned with the name of the travel company he works for, he opens it to find the login details he requires. He enters the name from one of the spilled business cards, and there it is, confirmation. Page after page of entries from check-in desks on every country, on every continent, mark the ever eastward journey, circling the globe over and over and over again. And something more as well. A dozen different loyalty card schemes with a dozen different airlines. He sucks at the tip of a pen and quickly jots down numbers on the back of a business card, BA, Virgin Flying Club, Flyer Plus, before adding them all up. He leans back in his chair and grins, catching the eye of a matronly lady who has just sat down and who looks initially scandalised and then scowls back, but he just makes West grin even more, because there it is. Whatever his next flight, whoever it's with, it will take him over the magic 7-digit number. By the time he lands, Mr. East will be a millionaire miler. West sends him all the joy he can muster and snaps his laptop shut. Thank you very much.